Hey everyone, time for Geocache Talk. Whether you work, in the car, wherever you are, hope you enjoy this show about the great sport of geocaching. If you're watching live, there is a link to the chat room. If you go to the front page of the website, you can see down below there's a link there, so you can join along with the chat room. If you're listening later, please give it a like, subscribe on your favorite podcasting app, that you get all the weekly Geocache Talk goodness. Big thanks to the Travel Bugs for the music and our featured patrons, Burns Fire, I think he's with us tonight in the chat room, Hockey Zombie, Ship to Shore, A. Holly S., Geo Dandrew, Direwolf 821, Deuteronomy 31.8, Sasquatch Lover, Angel Edamon, Emily Renee, and more about Emily Renee in a little bit. And our new patrons, GSMX2, BKQG Family, Dog Mom of 2, Trexer 0, Hide Go Seek, Zipper Tiff, TWH Rider, Toe-Headed Mule. It's not the two-headed mule, it's Toe-Headed Mule. Team Steiny, Arnott Family, and our Cap Brain. Well, there you go. How about that? Perfect timing there with your beep there, Jesse. If you'd like to become a patron, head over to patreon.com/geocache talk for more details. Patrons get the new blackout coins. Blackout coin right there. Get your blackout coin with you? Is it not?
I do not.
You didn't bring yours this time? Okay, we'll talk about where you are too, by the way. Blackout coin. Other items during the year, especially what we're going to talk about tonight. Bonus content, invites to special events, only for patrons. Support level start at as little as Bison Tube level, which is $3 a month. Well, let me welcome my co-host Jesse.
Good evening. And the funny thing is, I was just watching the intro, like everybody else was, and all those pictures are from Texas, which is funny.
It is kind of fun
in Texas right now.
Yeah, I didn't plan that, but
we're not in the same place. Obviously, I'm in another professional hotel studio, as you can tell.
Yes, you are.
And I apologize to everybody ahead of time because I had to rig up a Wi-Fi hotspot from my phone to be able to broadcast from this hotel because the internet wasn't going to cut it for the broadcast. So
no,
it's hopefully I don't jump doing one of those things tonight. But we'll get it done anyway. I wasn't going to miss this one for anything. So even though I'm traveling, I had to jump off a plane to get over here.
Exactly.
Tonight's show.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you doing that. Yeah, let's jump right into show 158. Got a lot to talk about tonight on show 158 for July 21st. yeah, this is kind of going to be an interesting night. Let's do some news first.
Okay.
And as Scott always says to me, Gary, get to the meat of the thing. It's like, no, we're gonna dabble in some other areas for a little bit.
But we've been alluding to this for a while, and now we're actually get to talk about it. We didn't spoil the, spoil the surprise, so we are going to get the good stuff tonight. So
we are. But let's start with the store is up. So you're you're thinking, Gary, the store's been up. Well, we had a lot of problems with the first store. So we or shop. Now it's a store, geocachetalk.com/store. Some items from the store. So this is new. This just came in. We've got more shirts. So very excited about our new shirt.
And I like those shirts.
And as I joked with them when I first, the Terraviators, and they're like, that's not how you say that. It's like aviators, Terraviators. They came up with this. And by the way, I mailed them shirts. So we checked the comments, but I think they got their shirts, hopefully. Let us know, Terraviators, if you got your shirts. But it's got the geocaching alphabet on the back, in case you're wondering. So you can just wear your shirt and look in the mirror or something periodically to tell what it is. Where's my list? I'm real organized tonight, am I? Aren't I? I'm just all over the map. I can refer to this. So there you go.
There you go.
So, yeah, he did. So we got so you are welcome, sir. That's for another show.
That's right.
We got some more of these. They're really nice. They're nice, thick glass. They're nice. Geocache.
Yeah, those are nice.
So, and they're built.
I didn't travel with mine. I didn't want to take a chance of breaking it going through the airport. So,
yeah, Burns Fire. You got to turn that off, my friend. Burns Fire.
I don't know how to do that.
Oh, don't you? Darn it. Okay. Well, somebody's gonna go like, oh, good, I can do that.
Yeah, don't text me, people.
Yeah, don't text you. Okay. Somebody says they can't hear me. Let's confirm that.
When you put the shirt up in front of the microphone.
Oh, yeah, you can hear me then. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, I'm talking to the mic now. But you need to see. You don't want to hear me. You just wanted to see the shirt. But well.
On to more news.
Yeah, more news. So that was the store's up. So yeah, nobody text Jesse because he can't turn it off. So, all right. So let's switch now to talking about mystery at the museum.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this a little before the show. So what are your initial? Well, now that we've been doing this for a little bit, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I love it. This is the most fun promotion I've seen since any of the promotions so far. We went out this weekend. We were playing. The little one was involved in it. It's so much more not complicated, like hard, but intricate on what you have to do. It's not just go find this mini or whatever. There's a story that goes along with it. We had a lot of fun. We went to a town nearby and got some caches. And if anybody happened to see our Instagram this weekend, the CFO busted me out big time. We went to go find a cache, and I'm driving. I was driving. She was navigating, and the little one was in the back seat. We go to pull up to the cache, and I started cringing because I had been there before, and I realized I had just forgot to log it.
Oh, no.
Like, oh. So the little one jumps out of the car, goes and pulls it up. I'm like the third line on the log. Here's how bad this is. So it's bad enough that I didn't log it, right? And I'm busted in front of them because they get mad every time I do it. What's even worse is the picture that we took at that cache that I didn't log is in our book.
Oh, really? Now that's funny.
It's like everybody, there's no way I can lie and go, we weren't here before. It's the picture in the book that we published. I was so,
the the CFL says she didn't bust you busted yourself.
Well, I mean, I knew it was coming. I pull up and I'm like, oh crap. Like, this looks awfully familiar. And sure enough, my name was already on the log, and she was there too, in fairness, but it was snowy when we went to it last time. So it looked a little different, but we logged it this time and we got our points, and we're mostly through Mystery at the Museum. And this has definitely been my favorite one so far. It's a lot of fun. They did some good promotional videos, and I think we've talked before, and it's for another show, but what they can yes, right. The possibilities of what they can do with this, with trackables and lonely caches and stuff like that for promotions in the future, well, they're great. The possibilities are great for this one. So that's one of the reasons I'm really excited about this one.
Well, one of the things I really liked about this one was, and this is what we're talking about, the fact that they have access to the database.
Yes.
So let's use it. And they are using it this time. I mean, that's the beauty of it. Whether you like the way that it's formatted, where you've got to find the first one and the other three, and then there's sort of a format or a formula that you got to get through to get to get the jewels and so forth.
Yeah.
So, whether you like the way that part is, you got to admit that is genius. To figure out a way to add attributes to caches without having to deal with, like, did you go out and take a look, by the way? I've got caches in my town, which nobody ever finds these caches out here, but some people do once in a while. But there's caches I have out here that have some of the fingerprints on it, or they have it's kind of cool that they were able to sort of add scattered out the different attributes, different parts of the Mystery at the Museum,
right?
Which is really cool.
And as far as I can tell, it's random how they assign these things.
Yeah.
But it's kind of exciting for what they could possibly do in the future, right? Yeah. It could be multi-month or FTF month or trackable month, and they could assign this to all kinds of different caches and really do some really neat promotions and kind of target some stuff, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Scott. He's like, Gary, it's one detective, 6 evidence, 15 jewels, and 35 additional ones. So
yeah,
there's the exact information. Thank you, Scott. I just sort of went.
And somebody mentioned it's challenging if you've already cashed out your area, and that's true. I was just in Hawaii a few weeks ago, and we've already talked about that, but some of the people down there had literally cashed out the island that they live on.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's
very difficult for them. But then again, it's going to be difficult for them to find any caches because they can't. So it's going to be there's some people that you can't please everybody. And I'm sure there's some people that don't like this promotion. Right.
Well, that's kind of weird though. If they've cashed out their island, it doesn't really matter about
there's no promotion that's going to help it.
No. No promotion is going to have you go back to a cache you've already found.
Okay. Somebody said, according to Rock Chalk, it was not random, but carefully planned, so people with handicaps could still get it. That's awesome.
Cool.
I hope they spread it out like that. That is great because this game should always be open to everybody.
Yeah.
Always. Everybody has different abilities, and I think you should always make it open to people in different ways. So that's great.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's good thinking on their part that you do want to make it available for everyone in the game. So that's cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yep. Okay. Let's see where we're at in our notes. All right. I guess we're gonna have to. I guess I've delayed long enough. We're gonna get into the show.
Wait, I got one more before we get into it. I'm gonna delay it a little bit longer.
Oh, that's true. You got something in the notes. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So, and we can try that other one next week if you want to, the overlay thing. We want to test out a new feature, but I want to get to the news tonight. But I did want to send a shout out.
I never got an email on that.
To reviewers in general, but specifically to my reviewer. I'm not going to name his name, but this week I'm putting out a large series of caches, and he's familiar with them enough that when I submitted some, even though technically they worked, he knew it was different than how I'd intended. So he shot me an email and helped me fix this. It was 10 more caches. in this big series. And he goes, hey, they're all right. He goes, but I don't think this is how you wanted this to be. And he was able to catch that, or she was able to catch that. And I was really impressed that they didn't have to do that at all. And they were going above and beyond with that stuff. I mean, that's the reviewers are just, we never say enough. Thank your reviewer. If you don't do it all, especially if you're like me and you're always pushing the limits, thank your reviewer for being nice and helping you out, because they really saved my bacon. It could have ruined part of the series that I'm trying to do, which is a big series. And thanks again. I just want to shoot that out and tell everybody, make sure you thank your reviewers.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, they are great. Whether you have any issues or whatever at times, I think overall they have been great. All the ones I've worked with, all the ones that I've known, they want to help. Typically, like you said, Jesse, you're able to do a lot of that. I like the way that geocaching.com has that set up. That you go to them and you go, I want to do this, and they go, we don't think so. We're like, all right, well, let's check. So you make them go check. So works
they're
out
great. I've got another one coming up that a reviewer is going to have to help me, and I already know it's going to be an appeal. But they're helping me do all that stuff because it's a brand new thing. There's there's not a rule for the thing I'm going to do yet. So
so they're helping
great.
You.
Okay.
Good deal. All right.
So
Houston, Texas Dave is in the he's making notes as well. So this came up during the show with Brian Roth, out of the blue, and Houston, Texas Dave was the one who asked. He asked a question about leaderboards and whether there might be a day someday where we could kind of make our own leaderboards. And Brian's like, funny you should mention that. I think we could do something with that. And I'm like, okay. So sure enough, they contacted us after the show, and they said, we would like to have you guys do a custom leaderboard. And we're like, you bet, we're in. And so they said, you got to sign some paperwork, so forth, so on. We won't get into the minutia of all that, but we agreed. We jumped into it, both feet, all feet forward, and we are going to be doing it's not there yet, but there will be a geocaching.com/geocache talk page with a leaderboard. Now, we can't do everybody who listens to the show or who wants to be involved and so forth. So they came to us and said, we can't do all of that, but we can do a subset. And so Jess and I talked, and we're like, well, we have a subset already of the show, and that is our patrons. So if you're a patron of Geocache Talk, you will be included in the Geocache Talk page. And we're going to talk about the leaderboard here in a moment, but that's the announcement.
So basically, the patrons get to do something that we've been wanting to do and hoping over the last year that Geocaching HQ or .com has been leading up to since they announced the Friends League. This is what we all, at least any of the competitive people or any of the people that not that I'm competitive, but this is what everybody has been wanting and hoping that they were been working up to and testing, and since they started the Friends League, and it turns out it really is what they were building up to. And before it goes live to the world, the patrons get to test it out very first, and we're going to go over all the details and everything else, but I've been dying to get this out there because this is what I've been hoping they were doing for a year. And sometimes what you're actually hoping they're doing is true. And, I wish it was immediately open to everybody, but I'm glad they're testing it out too. Right. And I'm glad we get to test it because we have a very knowledgeable group of people that are going to get to test this out. So, it's great. I'm excited about this.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we definitely were on board with doing this. It was something that we were, um, couldn't say yes fast enough. Really, we've been working
I
with.
was shocked that they actually, we're going to let us do this because I didn't.
Yeah, so loving every minute of this. But so they're letting Jesse and I are the admins of the group. We've sent them um, the information for our patrons. Somebody was asking the other day, it's like, well, is there a cutoff? And right now, there's not really a cutoff, but we're probably going to cut it off at August 1st because it starts August 1st and it runs from August 1st through the end of August, September, October. So it ends October 31st. It goes for 3 full months. And so if you're wanting to become a patron and you've thought about it and you're like, yeah, I want to be a patron at some point, this is a great time. We're not doing this just, by the way, it's not a money grab.
No.
We had no other way to come up with a list. So if you were in our position, what would you do? And it's like, oh, well, we want everybody to be involved. Well,
of course we would.
There
was a limit to it. Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't.
There were some other stipulations, but for who could be involved also but that's long details. And, we're so excited. We want to get into the fun part of it, but we did want to explain kind of the background of that too. So it was limited, right? I mean, we couldn't just immediately open it up to everybody, unfortunately.
Well, they're already starting the trash talking's begun. Burn Turtles says he's going to torch Burns fire. So
that's great. There might be some trash talking coming up. I don't know.
There might be. All right, so I'm going to share the screen showing the points because we want to talk about the point values because this.
Well, you know what? Before
doing
that, I want to summarize for people that are newer to the show or something else, or they're listening to audio and don't really know. In the past, we had on. Do you remember the exact guests we had on their names from Georgia? The Georgia group that was on.
Oh yeah, Geo Monkey Tiger.
But there was somebody else with them too, though, right? Didn't we have them on more than once?
Oh yeah, we've had them on a couple.
Okay, I thought so. I can't remember who all we've had on total, but obviously Geo Monkey Tiger. Oh wait,
yeah,
you didn't say it right.
Geo Monkey Tiger.
There you go. So a summary of that would be like Georgia and a couple other states have a monthly competition, and they get to set different things on their leaderboards of like. This is multi-month, so go out and find a bunch of multis, and there's a leaderboard, and people compete for finding new multis or Tendencetos or whatever else, and they keep their own leaderboard for it. So geocaching.com is now doing this on a worldwide scale, but they're going to test it here first with our group. And this is actually going to be on geocaching.com with our group and the leaderboard, but that's just kind of a basic version. We're going to go over all the details, but that's a basic version of it. You have a small subset of point system based on this, like the leaderboard, friends board, except for it's not random people. It's a group. It's one solid group. So,
right. Yeah. They're, I think, hoping down the line that this can become something where people can create their own groups. Some things we learned from this is that they don't ever want to call it Friend League again. That came. It went, and they're like, yes, that was fun, but no more friendly. And so we're actually not even referring to it really as a leaderboard. It's more of a challenge. And so for us, it's the hashtag Geocache Talk Challenge. And so that's kind of where that.
Right. And the name, when it goes to public, the name could change too. Right? I mean, it's going to public now, but when they open it up worldwide, they may change something about it because they're going to be gathering a lot of information during this time, right? I mean, they're using this very knowledgeable group to go, how did this work?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things that we agreed to is that we would give them feedback. So they're going to get all the feedback from all of our patrons.
You see them opportunities already in the chat room.
Oh, really?
No points for Earth caches, please.
Oh, there he is.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, Yossi, I think is going to be he's going to be a heavy hitter in this thing. I think so. I'm looking forward to watching the board. So no points for Earth Cache. I love it. All right, should we show it? Can we show the points?
Let's do it. Let's do the points.
Now, we do want to mention that this is not finalized, but this is what we think will be point totals, and some of the things we'll talk about why they're not on here. It's in beta, so we weren't able to do everything, but let me share my screen.
And I think the important thing as we go through this is as much fun as an excitement this is going to be, we're also testing a product for geocaching.com, right? So we're going to test it up here. And
right.
As we test this, we're trying to think of the big picture, not just what our favorite thing is, because somebody's going to notice something immediately missing from this list.
Yeah. And we've got some questions.
Comment on that now. Where I Go is not on this list.
No, Where I Go was not available. And Jesse kind of had a lot of.
Yeah. That's really why I'm in a hotel, because I burned my house down because I was so mad. But no, Where I Go is not on this list. And we're going to go through this list. And as we kind of talk about the point values, you'll see some things on the list and see some things that are not on the list. They're testing this out, right? So this is still a beta. So this is a brand new thing. So,
by the way, Kathleen, you will not. It'll be automatic.
Right.
It's going to be very similar to the current leaderboard. If you go out and look on, and we can pull that up too. I'll pull that up here in a minute. We can pull up the geocaching.com. Current leaderboards are out there, so it's going to be similar to that. So you won't have to worry about it. It'll do it automatically for you. But you will want to keep track of this a little bit, and we'll post this for the patrons so they'll know what the points are. But we still have a few questions that we're still working out. We're not quite sure what found means, although we think that we're going to give it a point total of 10. Part of that is
cache in general.
Yeah, I think what that's going to be is anything that's a cache that doesn't fall in the items that we're going to mention tonight, because there's a lot of things on here. Well, Where I Go is an example. You can find a Where I Go and get points for Where I Go. There won't be a specific category for Where I Go. DNF was on here. You should never get you should always log your DNFs.
Right.
You should never get points for logging your DNFs because people can cheat the system.
Yeah. So keep in mind that these points are going to be for the worldwide system, and you know how people game the system, right? Yeah. So that's Gary and I deliberated a lot about this, and we talked to some people in the network about it too. Behind the scenes, we don't think our group would do this because we have such a small subset now. We're testing this out. But when this is opened up, somebody would log 1,000 DNFs and never go off their couch, right? And there's no proof of a DNF because I didn't find it. So my name's not anywhere. And people would game the system. So our suggestion to them would be no points for DNF, even though you should really log your DNF, but that's too much open to
Happy Hodag.
Somebody could sit on their couch and say, I didn't find all the caches in Colorado today. Give me 50,000 points.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, we can't do that. But interesting, but we didn't want to do that. Attended. Now, this is one that we kind of really got into a debate about a little bit. If I can get this a little bigger. Make it a little bigger.
Right. Yeah. And just to repeat that, we believe that all the patrons and all the people in this beta group will play fair, but this is going to open up to everybody else. So that's why we're being so careful about what we try to assign.
Yeah. And so we felt like that, and since Jesse's not really he's not available for the prizes and everything. We felt like if you go to an event, you should get some points for that. That's like finding a handful of caches. If you go to an event, And so,
and we absolutely want to encourage event attending also.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
The social part of the game is great. You know, we've gone on many times about that. So
it does seem high UDAC, but if you think about it, how many events do you really even go to? Or how many events are even available to go to? I mean, if you look at a map, there aren't really that many events that are even out there. So, oh, Ryan, jumping the gun, buddy.
Ryan's getting ahead already.
He wants to go to bed because he get up early, so he wants to get this done. So, sorry, buddy. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So.
Julie D said, "Get a trackable tattoo, 100 points."
That's something interesting we can't add because we talked about trying to add more into this burnt turtles. Did you say prizes? So, all right, well, let's focus for a minute, folks. Just a little bit. All right, activating trackables. So again, we talked about this. Currently, we think that yes, it can be. Carl is right. It can be misused. We have to confirm this, but we think that this is the fixed trackable system, which is you cannot retrieve and drop off your own trackable. And that's what we think is in this system. We got to double check that, because if it isn't, we're not going to do them. We're not going to give you points for that. But if it is truly the retrieve a trackable that's not yours and drop off a trackable that's not yours. Now, we know that you can skirt the system and activate, or you can retrieve and drop off over and over again, but we're going to be watching.
Yeah, I think they found a way to stop that. I think you can only get points for the trackable once, so you'd have to do a unique one.
Yes.
But we're gonna confirm that with headquarters. And before we miss, okay, it's flying through in the chat room, so I'm trying to catch them.
No, RCAP Brain, you're right. It can't be, but this is our group. This is our rules, and we can easily change things.
Yeah.
And so if you think you can get away with things, no, you're not going to be able to get away with anything with us.
Yeah, that's why we have a great group to watch and but we need to find that, right? If there's a big loophole, we need to find that for HQ ahead of time. So
yeah, we will.
All right. So in the chat room, somebody said, "What about hosting events or CETOs?" Two things with that. One, you would get credit for attending it.
Yes,
and traditionally, HQ does not do any challenges, or generally, they don't want to not force. They don't encourage people to host events just arbitrarily. They want to make events good, but you do get to get credit for attending your own event. So that way you're not actually double dipping, and it's not somebody just generally publishing caches, including events, is not something you can do a challenge for, and they generally don't have points for that, but you do get to log it. So you're not missing out on that one.
Right.
And then let's see.
All right.
5,000 points for where I goes. Yes, that's correct.
5,000 points for
I can't even keep up with the chat room. People have a lot of good questions, and this is why we're using this group, right? Because they're so knowledgeable about this stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so now interesting is favorite points. So let me move down to the favorite points.
Yes.
Section. This is another one we debated about quite a bit. So kind of walk through with everyone why we kind of did what we did with the favorite points.
So you're talking about favorite points? Okay. The
caches with a certain number of favorite points.
So the reason why we did this, and this is a hard one. We had a big debate over this, but the bonus for favorite points is because you can't really, based on a lot of the rules, you can't really get people to put out caches that don't want to, right. But we do want to encourage those quality caches.
Mm-hmm.
This is a way, and this and the next one for getting favorite point, getting points for people favoriting your caches. We're trying to target those high quality caches, right?
Right.
We're trying to take the emphasis off of a power trail and put them on, and you get a lot more points for finding something that's high quality as opposed to just finding a power trail, which there's nothing wrong with power trails. Those are fine, but we're trying to reward those high quality caches that are getting a lot of favorite points.
Right.
It does it in two ways. One, if you find the cache, you get more points for it because it has more favorite points. And two, you're probably going to favorite that cache, which gets the owner some more points too. So we're trying to, that's really going after the quality caches there.
Yeah, absolutely. It runs for 3 months, so there's no reset. So we'll talk about some strategies that Jesse and I are thinking about.
But don't worry, it runs for 3 months, but there's more to it than that. So,
yeah. All right, skipping down from favorite points down to a section here about CETOs. You do get more points for attending a CETO, by the way.
Right.
Multi-caches, traditionals, virtuals, letterbox. So let's talk about this little section here of why we came up with what we did.
Right. So multi-caches, I think, Gary, you and I are the same. We don't target them as much. Now, people in the U.S., and I think, I don't want to make a blanket statement, but generally, people in the U.S. don't target multis as much as people in other countries do.
Right. No,
personally, it's not my favorite kind of cache. I like a good one, but I don't like a broken one.
Mm-hmm.
But we do want to encourage people that do put in the effort to go and do that. So we did bump up the bonus for multi-caches.
We did because we wanted to encourage people to go find more multi-caches. So, and they usually take more time to do anyway, typically. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to reward the folks for getting out and taking the time to do a multi-cache because they usually take a little extra time. So there you go on that. Getting back to what Jeff said as far as the favorite points, we wanted to give a lot of good points for people that find highly favored,
right?
Because there aren't that many. If you go look at your own, and we did this, we looked at each of our own states, and we had some of our network people on to help us. It wasn't just Jesse and I. We had Cache the Line. We had Jeff May was on with us, and Derek Baker from Behind the Cache were on to discuss this, and we kind of opened this up as far as the discussion about the points was within the Geocache Talk network. So we kind of bantered around a little bit about that. Jerry, you're exactly right. They're limited favorites because So that is true.
That's a good point she's bringing up because the chat room is doing all the same thing. They're going through the same thought process that we had to go through now. They're having that discussion in here. And what we tried to do is find a way to kind of not equalize it, but find a way where everybody is going to have a way to compete, right? Now, there's some people that have found all the caches in their area. It's going to be hard for them to compete in anything unless they're traveling. There's some people that have very few caches or that have power trail. They may only have traditional caches with no favorite points, but there's 1,000 of them out there.
Yeah.
Okay, they can find a bunch of caches and try to catch up, right? Or they may only have a few caches and they're all non-traditional types, but there's only a few of them out there. Well, it all kind of evens out that way. So we wanted to get everybody a chance. You know, obviously, if you live in Seattle and you have headquarters nearby, there's a lot of favorite points on that one.
But you might have already found those if you live
there. Right. So there's a balance to all of it. So really trying to balance it out. Like the next one on the list, the CETO, we bump those points up a lot because CETOs are pretty rare. They're a minimum of an hour. So there's a lot of caches you can find in an hour. Yep. But if you go to a CETO, you get a lot more points for doing that. And we definitely want to reward that because CETO is one of the best things that's out there. So we're trying to set these points where it can be fun and also kind of based on the rarity of certain caches. So that's kind of our thought process. So let's see what people are.
And we've had a lot of good suggestions, but a lot of the suggestions aren't available in this. It's beta. It's very beta.
Right.
We're not able to do a lot of the things you're asking about. And we thought the same. We went through some of the same things like, well, what can we do this? It's not available right now. So we had to work with what we had to work with. So, all right. So let me move down a little bit. So those are the multicache CETO, traditional 10, virtuals. We want to give you more points for virtuals. There aren't as many virtual caches out there. Sometimes they take a while to get to.
Mm-hmm.
We want to give you the opportunities. Letterboxes, again, it's one of those things where there's not as many. They tend to be a little rare, although some places there are more letterboxes than others. but we wanted to reward people getting out and finding litter boxes. So again, that's why we picked what we did. So, all right. Last section, mystery caches, earth caches, and some other questions, and own Geocache's favorite. So let's talk about this section, Jesse. Why did we kind of do what we do? Why did we do what we did?
So again, mystery caches, whether it's a challenge, or there's obviously some more difficulty to a challenge, or if it's a puzzle, there's more difficulty. So we bump the points up for that.
Right.
And earth cache, I said negative 75 points, but Gary wouldn't let me.
No, I wouldn't let you do that.
Yeah. And then own a geocache favorited. So we mentioned this earlier, but I thought this was neat. That's a possibility. Is you're rewarding people that put out quality caches, right? There's some really spectacular caches out there. And somebody that during this period or during any period when this leaderboard is out, that they're getting favorite points on their caches. That's not everybody puts out caches. Not everybody puts out, big, fantastic caches. But for the ones that do, we want to reward. I think that should be rewarded. I like that idea. And then we have a few other questions, obviously. But if CETOs will increase, because that would be awesome if CETOs increased because of this. That would be great. CETOs are a great way for us to give back. So that's a lot of fun too. And hopefully the idea with spreading all these points out like this is it's going to be fun, right? And a couple people have already said this in the chat. We can get caught up in the details of this, but really what it is geocaching.com is allowing us to try something that the world's going to do and could change a whole aspect of caching for a long time. We get to try it out first. And let's just definitely have fun with this. Yes, there's going to be some prizes. Yes, there's going to be winners. Yes, there's going to be different categories and stuff like that. But let's just have fun with it. I think this should be a lot of fun to do this.
And so, Scott, we asked that exact question, buddy, and they will not let us do that. So we asked. We want to do the same thing, but we weren't allowed.
Yeah, I think they want to get a lot of data. They want to do a full, 90 days, 3-month period. And now they may want to reevaluate some stuff in the future, but for right now, and we have some things we're going to do with that too. So we get to play on our side as well. They're doing this thing officially to HQ, and that leaderboard is going to be up there for everybody to see. The whole world gets to see it. So that's kind of fun. But we're going to do some stuff on our side too, because we love that we get to do this. So we're definitely going to do some prizes related to it. Do you want to talk about some of that?
Yeah, let's talk about that now. One thing also, if you notice, there's some questions we still have for them. It's not finalized. It will be finalized though in the next week or so. It goes live August 1st. So people
August 1st we get to start this. So
August 1st is when this will go live. You'll see it for the first time. I was hoping to see it before that, but you can't see it yet. We'll send the information once it is live on geocache.com.
Right.
But we are asking questions about difficulty in terrain. Can we tweak? Because there are some availability of that in the current leaderboard. We can do a little bit of extra with that. So we're asking about that, trying to find out what we can do with that portion of it.
You can guess that was like one of my first questions, other than the where I go. Right. What about our DT? So that may be in the future, but as of right now, they're not including that in this test beta phase that we know of.
Right.
But this is going to be so. And in fairness, before we get to the prizes and before we get to the leaderboards and everything else, yes, Gary and I are in charge of this, so we will not be eligible for any of the prizes.
What?
As much as I begged Gary for it, he would not let me be eligible for the prizes. However, our names will still be on the leaderboard, so we can still get to have fun with it.
Yeah, I think Jesse's goal, folks, is he wants to be at the top of the leaderboard just so he can go, I'm at the top of the leaderboard. I can't win any of the prizes.
Yeah,
but I'm at the top.
1 billion points. I need a 1 billion points. Right?
That's right. Yeah. But I tell you, there's it's gonna be fun. We've got a very interesting group already of patrons. We have a great group of patrons.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's going to be so much fun to watch. maybe some of us that are back doing our own little thing, and I'm not going to be at the top of the leaderboard. I'm not that, but I love watching it. I'm gonna love watching you and a bunch of those folks, the Burnt Turtles and the Yosis of the world who are like, I'm in it to win it, baby. I'm in it. So a couple things we want to do. We do want to give a couple things. We are going to give prizes. We're working out the prizes. If you're Eric, you're asking earlier about virtuals. If you are a virtual finding or puzzle cache, Tom Brotherman, if you're a puzzle finding fiend, then you can actually go on the leaderboard and look for certain categories and focus. If you don't want to try for the overall lead, it's kind of like if you're not a decathlon person where you want to do all 10 events, that's fine. Don't do all 10 events. If you want to lead in virtual caches or unknown caches, or if you want to be the leader of a certain area, if you want to be the trackable king, you can do that, and we will give prizes based on those other areas.
Yes,
so
we're going to have leaders in all the categories.
Yeah, so if you don't want to be, Mr. or Mrs. overall leader, that's fine. If you want to focus on a certain area, go for it, because there'll be competitions within that little niche. I mean, if you want to go find all the traditionals in the world and you want to find just traditionals, we're going to be able to track that, and we can figure out who had the most traditionals. So that's going to be, that'll be a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, and we had a lot of talk about that.
Yeah,
go ahead. Before the thing, and that's one of the things that I think will be really good is there'll be some people that just love multi-caches, and they don't care what the overall score is, but they're going to focus on multi-caches, and they're going to beat everybody in and they're going to find every multi-cache that exists,
right,
just so they can take over that category. Oh,
I wish.
That's what's going to be fun, right?
Yeah, RCAT Brain mentioned about most states, most counties. I don't think we can do that. God, that'd be awesome. Would it be good to do a county challenge?
And they may in the future, right? That could be a thing in the future. We're testing this out to find out. And again, so let's repeat this. And it was in the chat room earlier, but it was flying by. There's going to be a competition to this, but also let's just have a lot of fun with this, because at the end of it, we get to give them feedback.
Right.
We get to tell them, hey, this is awesome, or hey, you really need to include this, or this didn't work out because this guy got 1 billion points, and whatever. Right. I think the fact that there's so many different categories, and it's not just at the end of the 3 months who got 1 billion points. That's not what it is.
Right.
It's different categories. It's what you're interested in, and is there a prize for most DNFs?
No.
But
Gary's at 0. Yes, I'm at 0. I won't be at 0 for long.
God, the leaderboards, we'd love to show the leaderboards right now, but they're still
not available.
Credit to HQ. They're behind the scenes really working hard to get this ready in time.
Yeah.
And they've already let us announce the August 1st date, so I hope they get it ready in time.
Yeah. I think they will.
They're doing a lot of programming, so.
Yeah, and we're also hoping to do, you know how they have the digital, what's the way to put that? The little
badges.
The little badges you can put on your profile. The little web HTML code you can put on your web page, on your own profile page. So we're wanting to come up with the little badge for the Geocache Talk Challenge. You can put that on there, and you can proudly wear your badge for winning whatever category. If you're going to be the Earth Cache master, you'll get a badge for that. If you want to be the CETO badge winner, we're going to do that for you as well as prizes. So we're looking forward to all that.
And keep in mind, you still have time for like events.
Yeah.
If you have some events you're planning on doing or CETOs you're planning on doing, that's some good points.
Yep.
Go ahead and throw them out there. Get them posted up, throw them out there. We got 3 months. You could do several CETOs in that time.
Yeah. I wish we could add lab caches. We asked about labs, by the way.
Yeah.
Those were not allowed. Oh, yeah. See, Derek's wanting to know. Him and Bert Turtles are a couple people that found the stashes last year.
So, maybe we can get that. Yeah. Well, we might have to work on that. That's a good idea.
In retro.
We've never made one before, so we're going to see what happens.
Yeah. Emily Renee's like, yes to the badges. Yeah. I agree with you, Emily.
I like those badges. I know some people don't care about them. Like them.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's good to have.
All right. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying we're getting kind of to the end of the show. It's a shorter show tonight.
So,
what else do you want to talk about?
So I wanted to say that, and I think this is exactly why I was so excited about this. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we have the right group, and we told them we have the right group to do this. They already, in this hour, they went through what we've been going through for a couple of weeks. They went through the whole thing of like, what about this and what about this? And then you know what? And they got to the same place we did. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is supposed to be about being fun. Obviously, it's a competition because we're awake, and that's what you should do when you're awake is compete all the time. At least that's what I think. However, you can do that and in a friendly, fun way and still have a blast. That we're lucky enough that we get to do that. Yeah, bragging rights is a perfect way to do it. Yes, of course. We're trying to, and we're going to send prizes out. We're going to do prizes, and we're going to applaud the people that do great and everything else. But really have fun with this. We're lucky that we get to do this ahead of time. Before everybody else in the world, and this should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And start thinking of your strategy. Because this may be a thing that goes on forever in geocaching, right? So we get it first, but think of your strategy. Maybe I do want to be the guy that hosts CETOs all the time. Maybe I want to be the guy that puts out the highest quality caches. So I just sit back and
collect them.
Points, right?
Yeah, like Dee's comment about weekly CETOs. That's a good idea.
So you joke about that, but if you've been listening to the show for a while, I've seen exactly how that can happen. I did it with my local school district. I went to them and said, hey, can we clean up some of your elementary schools? In my one little small town, there was 20-something elementary schools. Each one of those was a different CETO.
Yep.
We had tons of them. They were very happy to have volunteers come in and clean up. There are tons of places you can do CETOs. It's an hour, and you're giving back to the community. So all joking aside, you could really dominate just with that, right? I mean,
you could. Well, it's strategy if you want to. If you're
the weekly
play the game
event that we have.
Yeah,
I get points every week.
You will. Absolutely.
So there's a lot of things you can do, or just go ahead and clean out those virtuals you've been wanting to clean out for a while.
Yeah. Julie D, your comment was, can you tell? Yeah, you can tell everybody. It's going to be available for everybody to watch. So again, the webpage will be up soon, and that's the webpage, geocaching.com/geocache talk.
It's not up yet, though.
Not up yet, but it will be
live.
live.
There's nothing there, unfortunately.
So it's a 404, but it will be up. So that's the link. People were asking earlier too. Where do I see the leaderboard? How can I follow it? That's it. Geocaching.com/geocache talk. That will be it. It's not up yet. It will be by August 1st. So there you go on that. So
I would say people have tons of great ideas. If they have questions, and we're getting more information from them still.
Yeah.
Shoot them into us. geocachetalk@gmail.com. This is a huge thing. There's no way we could have gotten into everything tonight. So shoot those questions in. We answer those emails. Shoot them in, and we'll try to get questions answered. A lot of the answers to the questions, unfortunately, are going to be, this is all that's available at this time.
Can't do it. Yeah. So,
megas or stuff we'd love to do, but
Tom's asked about geotours. We asked Buddy. We were hoping. I think those are some things. He's a patron, so if you're a patron, I would keep a list like we do. Make a little doc. Create your little doc on wherever you want to make a doc, and keep track of all that, because there's going to come a point where you're going to be asked by geocaching.com to give your suggestions. And so you want to be concise. You want to give information about. I love a picture of Tom, by the way. I always laugh at that. But you want to be able to give them basically a breakdown of what you want to see going forward, and you're going to have the floor. I mean, there's only a couple hundred that are going to be able to do this, and so it's one of the things that is now's your chance is to make your notes as we go through and do this for the next 3 months. Scott was saying we need the leaderboard to be cleared out once a month. Okay, make a note, Scott. Just make a little note. That's something that you want to see when it does go to the public. And I think what they're wanting to do is, well, we don't know yet. My guess, and Jesse, I'll have you guess as well, but my guess is that you're going to be allowed to create your own group someday.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
I think they've been working towards that for a long time. And just like we talked about before the show, they do have to slow play things because every time they do something, no matter how good it is, there's a segment that doesn't like it, right? So that's another reason they're being cautious with this one and going to a group that they know is highly involved with the game and into the positive aspects of stuff, because they want a real good sampling of data that they want to know these people are going to give us information back. They're not just going to say, oh, this is terrible every single time, right? They want some involved people to really test this thing out because this is a huge scale. And I asked in the chat room, we're not going to pick our people, but we already had one person. There you go. We'll put it up there.
Mysteries are mine.
Right now that they're going to win a certain category. This is your chance.
Yeah.
This will be recorded forever.
Yeah, Jesse wouldn't let me do that. He thought people would get upset.
I said we can't pick out who's going to win.
Can't pick it out.
They want to claim them, they can.
I have a feeling though. I have some people that I'm rooting because I can't change anything. But
yeah, well, we're rooting for everybody. Well, we can't root against anybody either. So,
well, it's more of a guess.
Right.
Yeah, I have some guesses, and as we go through, it'll be interesting to see who the early leaders are, who sprints out to the lead, and then who is in the background, slowly planning, slowly getting. Because what'd be funny is the last week in October. Oh, it's gonna be an all-out terror trying to get that last point in the system right before they cut it off. It's like I need those points at the last minute. So Halloween, there you go. Halloween night.
I had one person claim a category so far. Oh my gosh!
So far, our cat brain is puzzle fan. So anyway,
he'll probably beat me in puzzles. I go on streaks of them, but I'm not the best puzzler in the world. I do okay.
Yeah, be fun. So so Josh Box, he's railing out Burns Fire already, but all right. Oh, his money's on Peachy. Yeah, Peachy 12. Yeah, she gets out and she finds a lot. Velena's some of it. I think you'd be surprised. I think there'll be somebody come along that they're trash talking. You Dax.
Okay. Terraviator said they'll take earth caches.
Earth caches. Hey, I don't know how, because we live near. He lives in this area. It's like there aren't a lot of earth caches in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There's some, but there aren't that many. It's not like up in Colorado. There's a billion up in Colorado.
There are a bunch up here. Oh, behind the cache says he's got favorite points. Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I like that one. That's a brave one there.
Coon and Bud's going after the skirt lifters. All right. Good luck, buddy.
There you go.
Not a category, but that's okay. All right. So I guess some final thoughts, and we'll wrap up, and we'll talk about the next 3 weeks. So what are some of your final thoughts tonight?
So like we kind of talked about beforehand, and we've been really sitting on this one for some weeks now. This is exactly what you and I have talked about, and we've been wanting to happen for geocaching.com since the day that they announced the leaderboard, the Friends League.
The Friends League back in the day.
Building up to this the whole time. And this adds, like when we talked to the Geocaching Georgia group, they did it. And we've talked to some other groups that do this, and it's an awesome add-on to geocaching. It's not mandatory. Nobody has to do it, right?
Right.
It's a great add-on. And it's to me, I love competition, friendly competition, right? It's supposed to be a game, it's supposed to be fun, and something I can do if I want to. So it's a month long or something. I want to do it this month because I have a free month. That's great. Or I don't want to do it this month, but it's not just like a one and done. It's not like who finds 1,000,000 caches. Well, one of the people in my area is Mondo, who has found 150,000 caches. I'll never compete with that guy. It's never going to happen. He's a great guy, but he is an animal when it comes to finding caches, right? But if you have Where I Goes, hopefully in the future, or if you have Earth caches, or if you have multis, or get rewarded for hiding caches with high favorite points, everybody gets to compete, and everybody gets to play and be part of this game. And the fact that we get to, so I love that part of it. But the fact that we get to try this out before the whole world gets to do it, that is so much fun for me. And I'm very happy that they're letting us do it. And I believe 100% we're getting to do this because we have such a positive audience and they're so knowledgeable. And the people in the chat room are they help each other out. They answer their questions before we get to answer them sometimes.
Absolutely.
And HQ watches, they're listening to what people want. They've done, over the last year, they've really listened to what people want and they're trying to do it. Well, luckily we have the platform where we get to talk to a lot of people and we have a lot of people talking back. And now HQ is showing that they're listening to that. They're letting our group try something out for the whole world. And that everybody should be proud, not us. Everybody, the group here should be proud that they got picked of this because they're such a positive, knowledgeable group. They wouldn't have taken the chance if it was a bunch of negative stuff like that. And we don't have that kind of group. So I'm super happy about the fact that the competition is happening, but I'm even more happy that they let us test it out. I just think that's so cool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was blown away. I mean, Jesse and I have been doing this now. Again, we just passed our 3rd anniversary, and it just blows me away just that we were able to have somebody from geocaching.com on our show at one point. I was able, we had Rock Chalk on early on, it was like show 6, and it just blew me away. I was still blown away when I asked somebody, and I love telling people, it's like Brian Roth's going to be on the show. It's like, oh, Brian Roth, president of geocaching.com, is going to be on the show. And they're like, they don't think about it. I'm like, to me, it's like our little show. He wants to be on our show. It's like, but thank you, Jesse. We've been able to build something really, I think, really incredible with the show, and it's really a testament to you coming along and really making the show what it is. And it is a testament also to everyone who listens, and especially our patrons who have stuck with us, who stick with us all the time. Even the ones that we've had a few that haven't been able to stick with us, but they usually send us a note saying, I wish I could. So they don't leave usually. I don't think we've had anybody leave going, I can't stand that Jesse guy.
Yeah. we have a great group, and I think it needs to be said, thank you for being this group that lets us be a part of this big thing. So that's so awesome. I'm so happy about this.
Me too. It's going to be exciting, and stay tuned. We'll get you some updates as we go, and it'll be fun. It's going to be fun.
Tons of information's coming out.
Yeah, and the group has grown a little bit tonight. I think after the word gets out, I think we'll get some more people who want to be involved. Will be involved as well. We got some Owen from KC is joined in, Jamie, and one I can't really even pronounce right now. I like that. It's GeoKG Lisa, but her name's a little different, so I got to figure that one out. But anyway, there's still time. You can join in, and we'll add you to the spreadsheet and add you into the group. So thank you all. You're right, Geo-Jamie. Thank you all. All right, a couple of items for the next few weeks. We're gonna have Daniel Flieger on next week. So next week's show is gonna be early. So I will remind everybody during the week But next week's show, I'll put it up here, but Daniel Flieger from Germany is going to be on. That show is at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Central Time next week. Show 159. Daniel Flieger will be joining us from Germany. That's why it's going to be at 3 p.m. It's 11 p.m. or 10 p.m. his time. But he's willing to.
We can't make him stay up till the middle of the night.
No, that's as good as we can get as far as trying to get it as close to, So
wait, 3 p.m. It's so late. Does he get overtime since he's a professional geocacher?
I guess he should, right?
That's not fair.
Should. So Daniel's going to talk to us about the longest multi-cache in the world. Pretty incredible. He's going to tell a story about how this whole cache even came about. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about Joshua. He was just over there again.
He's always popping up over in Germany.
He's always popping over in Hanover. But this is fascinating. The longest multi-cache in the world. I'm fascinated. It's going to be so much fun to hear more about that one. So then the next one is also going to be a lot of incredible shows coming up.
This is pretty impressive though. Yeah.
And so David Barsky is going to be on the show. And Scott knows about David. That's a cool vlog, by the way. If you go check out Scott's vlog with David, they went out and did some caches together. But David Barsky is going to be on the show. He is a TV producer, big time TV producer. We're talking. He produced most of the Dirty Jobs episodes. He's produced, Delicious Destinations. Zimmerman. The Food Network. Food Network Travel Channel. He's Travel Channel.
Yeah.
And love those. The strange. What's the show called? Why am I drawing a blank? Somebody help me out here.
You're just worn out from finally being able to announce all the big news.
Andrew Zimmern. He does. What's the name of the show? It's gonna drive me crazy. Oh, Bizarre Foods. That's it. Bizarre Foods. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm sure somebody helped me out in the chat room. Yeah. Food. It's so funny. So UC's like 3 p.m. works better. Yeah, it's 5 a.m. in Finland. Thank you, sir, for being on. Thank you, buddy. So David's gonna be on. He's a geocacher, and we'll talk about his experiences. I have a funny story that I'm gonna tell about David and myself. And so looking forward to that. And then the week after that, 8/11, we're going to have on Emily Renee. So looking forward to this show as well. Let me bring it up in the banner. Emily Renee is going to be on. She goes by Emily Renee. Emily Dinsmore-McConaughey. She's in every state. And I was like, really? Seriously? No. Really? And she's like, yes, I've done I've gone to all 50 states. I know different people have done this, but I think she can tell. She's got a cool story about this. So this whole process. So I think she's a good spokesperson. She was in the chat room tonight. So, but she can tell the story, I think, of this. We want to hear her tale of how she did all 50 states and how you can sort of and I think she's going to help us too with some planning of how you actually would do all 50 states. So, looking forward. Yeah, that's going to be fun. So, all right, we ready to wrap up tonight? Let's go to our outro, and we will wrap up with this right here.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight, as well as our new format. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.